Going on, everybody, and welcome back to the show. If you're new here, my name is Mitchell, and today's episode, I will be talking about how feminine, my bad, feminine energy is chaotic. So I do these YouTube lives every Saturday at 12 p.m. Pacific time, 3 p.m. Eastern time, and let's talk about a recap episode, which is on masculine energy leads and feminine energy submits. Um, Kind of controversial type of topic. It's not supposed to make women feel like they're less than or feminine energy less than, because feminine energy usually more more so towards females, but not always. Right, masculine energy is usually men, but not always. The energies, there's no genders, so I feel like I always gotta say that, just in case if some people get offended by it. What's up, Tracy? What's going on? I look like I just woke up. I didn't, I swear. But anyways, masculine energy. Okay. The slide is on Coach Corey Wayne, so I want to give a shout out to Coach. Taught me a lot on how to become the guy that I am today. And there's other people as well that kind of mold me into the person that I am today. But anyways, Coach Corey Wayne, I want to give a quick shout out to him because he's the one that taught me a lot, and I want to read a quote that he wrote, which is masculine energy and feminine energy. So masculine energy is about purpose, is about drive, is about mission, succeeding, accomplishing, achieving goals, breaking through barriers. Okay. And feminine energy is about opening up to receive love. It's about bonding, it's about connection, right? And etc. In order to maintain the sexual polarity in a relationship, men needs to focus on the things that makes a man, which is masculine energy, usually. So his woman will feel safe and comfortable to open up, enough to stay in her feminine and let him lead the relationship. However, if he fails to be the leader, it forces her to move into her masculine to make up for his weakness. She will resent this and become bitchy and distant. This destroys sexual polarity and creates unnecessary drama. So if and by Coach Corey Wayne. So if you look at this and you understand this in this perspective, what ends up happening is the reason why a woman would become bitchy and distant and a little bit cold, usually it's because one, feminine energy is chaotic. There's you can't really predict her emotions, and there's other external factors. What's up? Is it Auntie? What's going on? You can't predict her emotions. Oh, hello. You can't predict her emotions. You just don't know. But the beauty of that is, if you're a guy and you're in this relationship with this woman and she's kind of like all over the place, she's kind of all over the ice, and you're just like, okay, I can't. You just have to understand, as a guy, you can't control her emotions. You can't. It's just like the weather. You can't control the weather. So it's really no point getting upset of the fact that 10 people, almost. You can't get upset at the fact that she might be a little bit cranky. She might be in a little upset mood. Your job as a guy is to stay cool, calm, and collected, and just try to understand, like, what's going on, what's bothering you, what's on your mind, because that's where feminine energy kind of lies. It's chaotic. It's chaos, and feminine energies, they like to blow things out of proportion sometimes, and us as guys, we just have to understand, like, hey, look, you know what? It's not personal. It's not about me. Maybe she might say, oh, it's you that did this. It's like, okay, what do you mean by that? So you don't get bothered. You don't get perturbed. So you don't let her feminine energy get you, which is the guy, into your feminine. And I think that's huge, because most guys nowadays, they take things a little bit too personal. They complain, they argue, they yell, all that conveys that you don't understand her. And when you convey to your woman that you don't understand her, she's going to test you some more. Okay? She's going to test you some more. So, I have 4 slides that I'm going to be talking about today. And the first slide is going to be don't get too comfortable. Don't get too comfortable. So, in the beginning of the relationship, she might be really into you, right? She's hot, she's heavy, she's kind of head over heels in love with you. You know, little things like, oh, your little quirks that would normally kind of turn somebody off. You know, it doesn't really bother her. Matter of fact, it's attractive to her. You know, the way you breathe, when you sleep, when you snore, right? You might have sniffles, like me, because I have a cat. And so this is where most men, they think that, hey, you know what? I already got her. I don't really need to do much anymore. So you get comfortable and you start getting complacent, right? And that's the worst thing that you could do in a relationship, especially if you want a relationship to flourish, especially if you want a relationship to grow, and you want her to want you more than you want her. That's how it works. And you know, anyone that tells you otherwise, they don't really understand relationships, because a relationship, when a woman is in love with a man, she would do anything to make him happy. As long as he learns and understands what it means to be the leader of the relationship. And what I mean by leader, I'm not talking about someone that controls a woman. That's not being a leader. That's just you lacking self-control over yourself, and that in itself conveys a lot of insecurities. And guys that do that, that's on the other side. I'm talking about men that learns how to lead. That's cool. He's calm, he's collected. He's dangerous, but he's kind. And so, anyways, yeah, most guys think like, hey, you know what? I could just kind of lay back now, right? But if you look at it in a perspective of, you know, just like if you were to win first place in a championship, it doesn't mean that you can just sit back and relax and not do anything anymore. Unless you're like, you know what? That's it. I retire. That's it. So it doesn't mean that you can't celebrate. I think you should absolutely celebrate your victories. Right? You can celebrate that, but there's always another challenge ahead. So if you keep that mindset, there's always another challenge ahead. So you have to become better, and you have to not only become better, you have to be consistent. Now, where most guys fail is that he thinks it's going to last forever. Oh yeah, you know, she's with me. We got kids. We got this house together. We got a mortgage. Like all that. She ain't. Look, if she doesn't feel heard and understood, 2 biggest reasons why most women would leave or divorce a man is because 1, she doesn't feel heard and understood, and 2, you stop dating and courting her. You know, I always tell guys like, look, if you want to keep your woman happy, what you want to do is you want to make sure you take her out on dates at least once a week. Once a week, or at least 3 times in a month, okay? So, this is where most guys fail. They think it's going to last forever. She's never going to go anywhere. That's it. And he believes that now that I have her, I don't really have to do very much to keep her. It's like, no, you have to. Just like anything, if you stop taking care of it, it's gonna rot. So, she wants your woman that loves you. She wants your attention all the time, you know. But then, what ends up happening is he gets a little bit complacent. He stops doing things like dating and courting her. He stops listening to her. He stops understanding her. And when she doesn't feel heard and understood, she's gonna find it somewhere else. She's gonna start losing interest in you. And so now he becomes very emotionally unstable. And a guy that becomes very emotionally unstable is very unattractive to a woman, because you're displaying more behaviors of a woman, and it ruins the sexual polarity. She does not want to be anywhere near you. She's like, I'm dating a chick. She's like, I'm not trying to date a chick. I'm trying to date a man. And so that's why you hear a lot of women out there that's like, you know, you're not dating a man, you're dating a boy. And, you know, it's like, I get it. I get why they say that. They didn't have to say it like that, but I get it. Right? And I guess you could say maybe they're trying to make us become better men out. It's that's not, at least that's not how I would phrase it if I want someone better. Like, oh, you're acting like a little boy right now. No, you're not really guiding them. You're not encouraging them to try to become better. But it's like, what, you have to use words. You have to phrase things a little bit differently. I like it a lot when you do this. When you take leadership in a relationship, that's how you encourage somebody. Not like, oh, you're acting like a little child right now, right? So, anyways, you stop dating and courting her. He becomes emotionally unstable. He's getting bothered. He's getting perturbed. He doesn't know how to respond, so he starts reacting. And when a man starts reacting to her ever changing emotions, he starts arguments. I always say that men who understands women, you don't argue with them. You don't argue with them. You can understand them. You can listen to them. But you can have disagreements, but don't argue. The moment you argue, you're in your feminine. All right? You're in your feminine, and she's not trying to deal with all that. then, then, when she becomes more cold and more distant, he acts in what my coach says. And 90% of this is through my coach anyway. So, Coach Corey Wayne, shout out to you again. What he calls the illusion of action, right? And this illusion of action is like, oh, now I have to do something. I have to do something in order to get her back, right? And then he gets too kind of riled up in his emotions, and he doesn't really know where he stands with her. He's trying to get her validation. That's not attractive at all. So, what I mean by the slide, which is don't get too comfortable, and the fact is, in reality, we all get comfortable at some point in any relationship, or in anything that you do. You always get a little bit complacent. The idea is to catch it before it gets too far. Before it gets too far. All right. So, slide number 2. You can't let her get to you. And what I mean by that is you can't let her emotions get to you. Okay? You cannot let her emotions get to you, because her emotions is like the weather. It's going to fluctuate. The weather's going to be sunny, it's going to rain, it's going to be cloudy, like it's going to be too hot, but it has nothing to do with you. You can't let her get to you. That's the bottom line. You can't let her emotions get to you. And just like the weather, right? And the thing is, you could be doing everything right. You could be doing everything right, and she will still somehow, feminine energy is chaotic, right? She will still somehow find something to be upset about for whatever reason, okay? Maybe she woke up on the wrong side of the bed. Maybe she had a dream that you were cheating on her. It's like, what does that dream have? Like, you woke up and I'm still next to you. It's like, it's not like you woke up and I was with a different chick. Anyways, you could be doing everything right. She still finds something to be upset about, right? But this is your job as a man. It is your job as a man to stay emotionally grounded. I say that again. It is your job as a guy to stay emotionally grounded. Okay? And not let her ever-changing emotions get to you. You must be indifferent. And the difference that makes a difference is being indifferent. And being indifferent doesn't mean like you don't care. It's just like, it doesn't bother me. I get it, right? It's kind of like, look, it's okay. Unless like she's like going ape shit, then that's different, right? And I'm talking about healthy women too. I'm not talking about someone that lives in this place where she's always in the discomfort, where she always needs to start some shit. Like, that's me personally. I would never be with somebody that only starts shit all the time. It's like, if more than 60 to 70% of the time you're living in this very pessimistic, I don't really believe in myself type of mode, it's like, and you're starting stuff, that's not very attractive to me. So I will pass. I'll let some other unfortunate dude deal with her, okay? Because there are men out there that will deal with that, especially if she's like a woman of beauty. So, anyways, you must be indifferent. You must be indifferent. And woman loves a strong, emotionally stable guy. Woman loves an emotionally stable guy. And on top of that, if he's confident, number one most attractive thing to a woman is confidence. And if you're confident and you're strong emotionally, you're strong in all aspects of your life, you're strong emotionally, you're strong physically, so you work on yourself, you go to the gym, you take care of your body and things like that, right? All this just conveys is that that's where true masculinity lies. That's where true masculinity is. It's being able to handle her storm and come and just, and you know that she will always come back and the sun will shine again. Look, she's having one of those moments. It's okay. I'm not gonna let that bother me. It's all right. Look, are you hungry? Are you hungry? I think you're hungry. Like, go do something. Go do something. Leave me alone, right? It's like, as long as you keep it playful, you keep it fun, it doesn't bother her, right? I mean, it doesn't bother you. She will come back, and she will come back more attracted to you too. She will come back more interested in you. So, because she misses you. So, if you're able to handle her storm, she will come back. She will always come back more attracted to you, okay? Now, she will be more attracted to you because she feels your source of strength. Because a woman needs to feel your strength as a guy. She needs to feel your strength. And what I mean by that is she needs to feel that you're emotionally stable, that you're not going to lose your shit just because she's losing her shit a little bit. Because back to this topic, feminine energy is chaotic. Y'all know it. Y'all kind of crazy sometimes. So it's okay. She needs to feel that you can handle that. But now, the question is, how much do you want to handle? Because I want someone that's not always like that. Like I said, it's like, where do you live emotionally most of the time? And so I want you guys to think about this. If you guys are really, really serious about yourself and you want yourself to become better, a good audit is within the past 7 days. I'm talking about today's Saturday. You know, some of you guys might be Sunday, right? What is your emotions within the past 7 days? Majority of the time. So were you happy? Were you excited? Yeah, where you at most of the time? Yes, I can confirm that. What can you confirm? Yeah, so where are you most of the time? Where are you most of the time? And the reason why I asked that, and the reason why I think it's so important to understand where are you most of the time is because if that's how you live, I mean, I've seen some people that, you know, we were in the same class, all right? I'm talking about class of 2006, okay? They look like they in the class of 1996 right now. And I'm like, okay. Which tells me, okay, I get that genetics has a role in, you know, I'm like, genetics didn't play you fucking that bad, okay? They didn't do that much to you. Like, okay, you could blame genetics, but something's going on, and it looked like there's a lot of stress. 1996, that's a big difference. There's a big difference. We graduated the same year. You look like you class of 96. Okay? It's been a roller coaster week. So I would like to ask you why, Melinda? Why? I'm sorry, I don't understand Korean. I might look Korean, but far from it. Okay, I'm not. But I appreciate your your comments. I hope it's nice. So anyways, feminine energy is chaotic. Masculine energy is cool, calm, and is collected. Anyone that tells you otherwise, they don't understand. They don't understand how energy works. They don't understand what is true masculinity. And, you know, at least from what I've started seeing, I don't really see the phrase toxic masculinity anymore. toxic masculinity. 你会中文吗? I understand a little bit. 你会说中文吗? That's as far as I know in Chinese. I took Mandarin a long time ago. So please don't write more Chinese because anything beyond that. Anyways, let's go back to this topic. Anyone that tells you otherwise, look, they don't understand how energy works. They don't understand it. Masculine. So if you think about it, masculine energy, okay? Masculine energy is to take her chaotic feminine energy and shrink that problem, because women will come to you, oh my God. They will do that. Oh my God, right? And us as guys, masculine energy is to shrink that problem, make it seem like it's not a big deal. It's not a big deal. It's okay. It's, I just saw this one TikTok video, and it's a mom. She comes out with a Ziploc bag, and it's a wrench. It's a wrench with a head on it, and she's like, "Oh my God, honey, look what I saw. Look at what it is." And then it's a wrench, but she thinks that it's one of those things to smoke weed in. And then she's like, "Oh my God, my poor baby, he's smoking weed, right? And he's smoking." And then he looks at her like, okay, he lets her talk, which is beautiful, right? Oh my God, she's feeling her emotions. And then he's like, "Okay, honey, do you know what that is?" She was like, yes. It's like one of those not bongs. I don't smoke, okay, so I don't know, but it's like the pipe. It looks like a pipe, right? She's like, "Oh my God," and he just, "Honey, do you know what that is?" She's like, "Yes, it's a wrench, honey. It's a wrench. Please go put that back in the garage." And so she's feeling all those emotions. But now, let's just say it was a pipe, okay? I mean, it's funny because it's not a pipe, but let's just say it is a pipe. Let's just say it is a pipe, and her emotions, because they got kids and he needs to stay emotionally grounded. How I would have reacted or responded in that situation, especially if, I'm like, okay, I get that, kids will be kids. They will do things, and it's better that if they were to do it, they do it in a safe environment than, I get it. Of course, you want to encourage them to do good things, but you can't control that. So in that situation, if it was a pipe, I would have been like, you know what? I'm going to go talk to my son. I'm going to go talk to our son. Honey, I want you to just relax a little bit. Can I get you something to drink? Just, it's okay. I'll take care of it. And then maybe I don't know exactly what I'm going to do, but I at least have the right idea on how I'm going to approach that. And the beauty of that is she could rely on me for my leadership on how I would handle that and not get too riled up and explode and be upset. Because if I saw that, I wouldn't be happy about it. But it's not one of those things where it's like, oh my God, you did something so bad that it's unforgivable. It's not that crazy. So to that extent, feminine energy is chaotic. Masculine energy is cool, calm, and collected. And the reason why I wanted you guys to take an audit for yourself on where you guys feel emotionally most of the time within the past 7 days is because if you think about it, we operate best when we're in a relaxed state, when we're not as bothered. And if you are a person that could go back to the center, your emotional center, and not let things bother you, you could operate best because you could think, you could respond to things instead of just reacting to things. And that is where most people would judge you based off that. And I get it, people be like, don't worry about what people think about you. But at the same time, you still want to be a person that's working towards becoming a better person, which is why you're here today, which is why you're listening to this today, because you're thinking about, shit, my life ain't where it's at, and I want my life to be better. And I said this before, it's not for the weak. Most people won't become better. And so that's why there's about 3%. There's about 3% of people out there that's willing to become that one guy that understands women, that understands, hey, it's her emotions. Don't let it bother you. It's okay, right? And there's more to that, but there's about only 3%. Out of 100 guys, you might meet 3 guys that understands this. So, masculine energy is to take your chaotic feminine energy and shrink its problem, right? But now, here's a little caveat. You don't want to point it out to her unless you're doing it in a playful manner, right? It's like you could laugh about it. You'd be like, why are you laughing? Just like the whole Red situation. He could have laughed about it. He'd be like, honey, it's okay. What is it that you have to say? And he's just like, why are you smiling? Why are you laughing? You think this is funny? You'd be like, a little bit. Yeah, I think so. It is. And you put evidence on it. Yeah, okay. All right. Honey, do you know what that is? Come here. Honey, do you know what that is? Give me a hand. It's okay. Here, hold my hand. Hold my hand. It's a wrench. It's a wrench, okay? Did you eat? Did you eat today? Okay. Did you eat today? Are you hungry? I get it. It's okay. So now as a guy, you're looking for someone that isn't going to cause you a lot of drama. And I think that's the most beautiful thing is, look, life in itself, it's already chaotic enough. It's crazy, right? It's hard enough as it is. With all these external problems, there's all these politics. I'm not gonna get into it, right? There's a lot of things happening in this world. And the beauty of all that is you get to come back home to someone that's easygoing and easy to get along with, that loves you and you love them. The sex is amazing, right? She respects you, you respect her. She looks up to you as a guy, as a masculine energy. She watches you like that's my man. You want her to feel that way, like that's my man. That's the guy that handles everything, that understands that, hey, you know what, sometimes I do get a little bit crazy, I know that, but he understands me. That's what a guy should be giving to her in a relationship. And in return, she will feel much respect for the guy. And now in today's world, you get a lot of people fighting with each other, like this whole boss babe thing. And I get it. You want to be independent, but at the same time, it's like, if you're trying to live with each other and work with each other, unless you want to stay single your entire life and you're like, you know what, I made my decision, I don't want to be, then absolutely be a boss babe. But I believe that people out there that truly wants a genuine connection, that's loving, that's caring, this is the type of work that requires a lot of work within yourself, so that you could become the person that you could attract. And so, you're looking for someone that's easygoing, that's not going to cause you a lot of drama, right? And like I said, she will have days where she's going to be upset. And I'm going back to the same thing, which is the main question is, where does she live emotionally most of the time? Okay? Slide number 3 is, being upset and emotional is feminine energy. So anytime somebody talks about the feelings, they want to talk, they want to yell, they scream, yap, 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 yappity yap. It's all emotional energy, right? It's all emotional. It's all feminine energy. Being upset, feminine energy. I get into my feelings sometimes. I'm a dude, and I'm not apologetic about feeling what I feel, because I feel what I feel. But it's about being able to get back into my masculine and being okay about it. It's like, you know what? That felt good. That actually helped me ground myself a little bit more because I needed to feel those feelings to understand. And this, feminine energy is more than just your feelings. It's about creation, right? It's about bonding, it's about connecting. And so like I I have feminine energy, and the reason why I have feminine energy is so that it could smooth out some of the edges of me being too masculine. Because if I was all masculine, 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 I wouldn't see the other side of what feminine energy is. I will only see things in my perspective. And because I can understand my emotions, I can at least empathize with her and understand, like, okay, she's feeling the way she feels right now. She's talking to me because she's upset. She doesn't want me to solve her problems. So, honey, babe, how, do you want me to listen? Do you want me to listen? Like, what's bothering you? What's going on? Tell me more. Don't leave anything out. What else? Those are the type of questions that you want to ask her, especially if she's really upset. These are the type of questions that will help facilitate her being more into her feminine. You get it? That's the beauty of it. And when you understand that and you help facilitate her to help her open up to her being more into her feminine by listening, by asking her good quality questions, she's going to be like, oh my God, I feel so much better after talking to you. And it's like, you didn't really do much talking. All you did was ask questions. All you did was ask questions. So now, being upset and emotional is feminine energy, okay? And if you allow her feminine energy to get to you, to your feminine as a guy, for too long, and you're supposed to be the source of masculine energy in the relationship, it will cause her to be repulsed by you because she's like, look, it feels like I'm dating another girl, another chick. Like she didn't sign up for this. And so she will become even more cold and even more distant because you're no longer acting like the man in the relationship. And the quickest way to get her back or get anybody back and attracted to you is to change your behavior, which is changing how you approach things. Bro, give more attention and respect. Oh, I appreciate that. Thank you. Because now, like, because you're no longer being the man of the relationship, and I get a lot of guys that come to me and be like, I lost my girlfriend, and I'll be like, why? What do you do? Or what did you not do? Or what, like there's so many questions I always like to ask. And then, a lot of them, they like to sugarcoat things. They like to like fluff themselves up so that I'm like, look, you're smothering her. Or you're doing way too much. Thank you. Arush, thank you. I appreciate it. I do these live every Saturday at 12 o'clock. So 12 o'clock Pacific time. So if you ever want to come back, let me know. Let me know. Ask. I'll love to get your perspective on things too as well because I like to challenge myself. But anyways, yeah, guys that would come to me and be like, oh yeah, I want my girlfriend back. How do I get this back? Da 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 da. It's like, look, I was like, that's already the wrong perspective already. Like, why do you want to get her back? She unilaterally decided that she did not want to be in a relationship with you anymore. Okay, I know that you want her back. And I get it. I understand that because I've been in that shoe. But the mindset that you should have instead of thinking about getting her back is, what can I do right now that can make me the most attractive person I can be right now, whether it's going to the gym, whether it's focusing on my purpose, focusing on my mission, breaking through barriers, overcoming challenges, certain things, right? Like just taking care of yourself physically, mentally, spiritually, just doing all that and understanding the other side. That is fucking beautiful. And when you could do that for yourself, it's not going to just attract her back. You're gonna attract a shitload of people. And when you attract more people, just think about it in this perspective. Woman wants to be with a man that he feels like he deserves her. where he feels like, damn, like she's like, wow, you know, like there's a lot of girls that wants my man, but my man chooses to be with me. So that's why the psychology behind, like, oh, you know, you want to have this abundance mentality. It's like, well, you can only fake this fake abundance for so long until you start working on yourself. This whole fake abundance shit does not last. It's a facade. You really, deep down, you know you don't have a lot, but you act like you do. And so that's why when people start acting like they buying $700 t-shirts, and I'm like, okay, so you bought a $10,000 watch, but I was like, you still broke as a joke. It's like, who you trying to impress? You don't really have that. So you're and I always tell guys, I was like, if you have to use money to show that this is what your worth is, I was like, that's the cheapest way. I was like, true strength comes from within. It comes from within. And so I was like, what the guys that's coming to me like, I want to get my girlfriend back, I'm like, it's the wrong mindset. But who am I to tell you to change your mindset? Who am I? I'm just a coach. I'm just a guy that did this a little bit longer than most people. And you don't have to listen to me. But I was like, look, those who did, they attracted way better people. They're like, damn, like I didn't even realize that my ex was actually pretty bad. And, you know, I ended up finding someone better. And, you know, it was thanks to you. And I was like, thank you. No, I appreciate it. I was like, you know, the greatest compliment that anybody could do is to share my work. Is to share my work that, hey, you know what? You should listen to this guy. He helped me through this problem, right? And, you know, most people, they want something quick. They want something easy. And it's like, this is not a quick fix. I don't teach that. And most people that listens to like, most people that listens to, what technique and what kind of things that what are 3 tips that I could do to get her back, and it's like, if it's not within you, none of that shit will sustain. You might get her back, but eventually she's gonna leave again, and you're not gonna be happy in a relationship. So it's like, why, why, right? So, anyways, as men, we're driven to solve problems. Most of the time, she doesn't want you to solve her problems. She just wants you to listen. And so by listening, you're communicating, you're conveying that you understand her, emotionally. So then you allow her to understand you. And you see the beauty of this. It's like, love is allowing, love is about giving. And the moment you're thinking about yourself in a relationship, of what you're not getting and what you're not receiving, it's no longer about the relationship, it's about you. So it's very selfish. So you're not trying to understand from that other person's perspective. And so that's the beginning of the end of the relationship, unless you could pick things back up. So we just have to learn to be patient. Let her solve her own problems by her talking about things. That's how women solve their problems. Women solve their problems by talking about things. Men, we like to go into our little bachelor's pad. Like, this is my pad. And this is where home is for me. When I'm happy, I'm here. When I'm sad, I solve my problems right here, right? And so there's nothing more attractive to a woman from a guy that can communicate to her that he understands her, that she might be in her own little world right now, right? But you could guide her by asking the right questions to ask her the right questions to help herself solve her own problems. And then maybe you could give some advice. Like, hey, do you want my opinion about this, or do you just want me to keep listening? Like, what is it? What do you think, honey, babe? What do you think? Like, what do you think I should do? Okay. Then you tell her exactly what you think she should do. And don't take it personal, right? Don't take things personal. It has nothing to do with you most of the time. And if you understand that this is how women are, one moment they're all over you, next their emotions about you change. It's like, a lot of guys also like to think like, hey, She told me she loved me about a week ago or 2 days ago or even 2 minutes ago, but now she's like, oh, something happened and she's pissed off. Those I loved yous and all those emotions that they felt for you, it doesn't carry over. It does not carry over. I need you guys, men, you need to listen to me. Those feelings do not carry over, okay? Just because she told you that she loved you about 2 weeks ago, it doesn't mean she loves you right there and then. It means that you got to be consistent in order for her to continue loving you. You see that? So don't get into your mind like logically. Well, shit, she did say it, so it's binding. Like no, it's not. No, it's not. Feelings change, and it's your job as a guy to maintain that. It's off to you, bro, for gaining that confidence and actually telling real life situation that will help relate our situations with yours that help us go through these problems and solve them. Thank you. Yeah, I there was a time where I did not understand this at all, and I didn't learn this by myself. Like I had to learn it from my coach, and my coach is Coach Corey Wayne. So if you ever want to listen to him, go to his channel, like subscribe to him. Like I'm encouraging you guys to go subscribe and join his members only content. But before any of that, what I would highly suggest is read that book multiple times. He tells you to read that book 10 to 15 times. And the reason why you want to read it 10 to 15 times is because if you don't, you only get part of the advice. And the idea is to understand the philosophy behind his advice and why you do the things that you do. Because Arush, right? I hope I'm saying your name correctly. But the reason why you want to understand it into of a philosophy instead of a tactic is because you see a lot of quick tips, a lot of quick helps. 5, 7 things, 9 things, 13, 11 things that can help you get her back. Yeah, those are helpful, but you might get attainable success, but you're not going to get sustainable success. And your job as a guy is to properly vet out your dating prospects. And so where most guys think when they go on to a date, they go into the date thinking like, damn, I need to impress her. Like I need to get her to like me. My question, and I'm not gonna say this to her, but my question to myself is, well, what does she have to offer that will interest me? Because I do have a lot of options, and I'm not gonna dismiss anybody, but the moment I start seeing things that doesn't align with me personally, I hope she doesn't take it personal, but there's not a lot of people out there that I know of personally that will align with my goals and my values. And so if it doesn't align, I'm just gonna be respectful. I will still pay for the meal. I will still make sure that she gets home safely. But I'll also let her know. I'll be like, I don't think we're a great match together, and I hope you don't take it personal. And I really do hope that you find someone out there that does match what you're looking for. And that's it. And that's not to be upset about it. And if she said that about me, I'm not going to take that personal. I'm not going to take things too personal because it's not about me. It's really about them. Right? So, let's see. Communicate by asking questions. If you understand that women are, 1 minute they're hot, 1 minute they change, right? They're kind of all over the ice. That's what women are, right? Feminine energy is chaotic. And we understand that. Now we do, right? Now we do. Because you're here and you've been listening. So women know instinctively that if she has enough time away from you to think about you, to miss you, to wonder about you, her feelings will return back stronger than ever. Okay? So, you want to practice infinite patience. This is my last slide. You want to practice infinite patience. And a quote by Thich Nhat Hanh says, you must love in such a way that the person you love feels free. You must love in such a way that the person you love feels free. Because if you think about it in the perspective of What is freedom? It means that you allow them to do whatever they want. And the reason why you want to allow them to do that is because that's the true nature. That's their character, and character is destiny. You can't change that. You can't change what they're going to do. If they're a liar and cheater, well, guess what? They're a liar and cheater. You can't change that. And so you want to give them so much trust. And if they are who they are, if they're a liar and a cheater, you still want to trust them. Just trust them. Okay? Now, if you know that they are and you're like, you saw it and you decided to say, that's still on you. Okay? But what I am saying is, you're not sure. You might have some speculations. You might be suspicious about certain things. Trust them 100%. And the reason why you want to trust them is because, number one, it will save you time. Okay? It will save you time. You want to give them the ultimate trust, because when you trust them, they're going to be more sloppy with what they do. They're going to be more sloppy. And then once you catch them in the act, well, guess what? Hey, I didn't know that you were doing this. I didn't know that you were, entertaining other guys. I didn't know you were talking, flirting with other guys while being in an exclusive relationship with me. And that's not something that I would stand for. And so, yeah, I just, that's not what I want. That's not what I like. I see. Thank you, Arush. Okay, so now you must love in such a way that the person you love feels free. And if you think about what love is and what relationship is, love is about giving. Love is not about, love isn't really about what you could get out of it. And most people get into a relationship thinking about what they could get out of it. And that is not a relationship. Peter, you're saying a lot of things. We do know each other from a while back, but I'll appreciate it if you stay on topic. I'll appreciate that. So now you want to practice infinite patience. When a woman pulls away, you should be indifferent about her pulling away. You should be indifferent about it. It's not about being cold. It's about giving her space. So you see that mindset already, where if you look at tips and you look at tips and tricks on how to get her back, and she's pulling away, and what I do, they'd be like, oh, if she's doing this, you do that too. It's like, well, it's not about being cold. It's about giving her space. If she's saying that she wants space, that means that in woman needs, it means that you're smothering her a little bit too much. You might not feel like you're smothering her, but she's like, all right, you're smothering me too much. And so now you got to go recalibrate. Then you got your homies to talk to, right? Now, personally, I wouldn't just go to homies to talk about certain things, because most of the time, if you look at their relationship, most people in relationships are not happy in relationships. Most people, they're not happy. And why would you want to take advice from somebody that really isn't doing very well? That's just my perspective. And so the idea in this philosophy is, it's not to be cold. And it's like, oh, she's ignoring you, and so you ignore her. It's like no, it's think about it as in terms of respect. The reason why I'm not talking to her right now is because she's being disrespectful. And I respect myself enough to walk away from situations, especially when she's acting this way and being disrespectful. Now, she can have her moments. She can have her, ever-changing emotions. But then, there's still a line of respect. You don't cross that. You don't disrespect somebody just because you feel a certain way. And that is why I no longer align myself with people that gives me this type of bullshit. And, from what my coach taught me, whatever you tolerate, you invite more of it. So think about it in the perspective of, if you don't respect yourself and you don't respect your time, especially if someone's there and they could see that, they're gonna be like, yeah, I'm gonna get this person to do this for me. I'm gonna get this person to do that for me. And it's like, yeah, and whatever you tolerate, you invite more of. So if you tolerate disrespect, guess what's gonna happen? You're gonna invite more of it. And weakness invites aggression. And so when you're weak and you don't stand up for yourself because you don't like confrontation, well, guess what? It's going to cause the other person to step in and be like, hey, you know what? I'm gonna take advantage of this person. So my thing, my job over here is to, look, you want to align yourself with good people. You want to align yourself with people that aligns with you, right? It's not you're trying to find a square to fit into a square, right? You're not trying to find a circle to try to fit to this other shape that would not fit inside. You know what I mean? So it's about that. And that's why you have to practice infinite patience. But while you're practicing infinite patience, what you're trying to do every single day is to become better 1% a day. 1% is a lot. So just try to become a little bit better every single day. Just try to become better every single day. And in a year, you're going to be like, holy shit, like many things have changed. Most people overestimate what they could do in a year, but underestimate what they could do in 10. So imagine you continue to work on yourself for 10 years. Imagine that. Imagine where you would be. When you look back, you're like, God damn, like, I've changed, I've learned. I'm not gonna associate with people that doesn't respect me. So I go where I'm celebrated, not where I'm being tolerated. I would never want my lady in my life to lay in bed next to me and be like, damn, I'm stuck. I can't leave. Why? Because, I don't have a job, or I don't have this, or if I leave, where will I live? Where will I live? I want her to think like, damn, this is the best man that I ever got. And if I lose this guy, I wouldn't know what I would do, because I don't think there's a lot of good guys out there like that. And chances are, if you're listening to me and you're watching my advice, and like I said, this advice is not from me, it's from my coach, Coach Corey Wayne. If you're listening to this and you're understanding this, you're becoming one of those 3% guys. At least you're on your way up there. And I don't even consider myself a 3% man, because I truly believe that there's certain areas that I still lack in, and I'm continuing to always become better. But in the meantime, this is where I'm at, and I'm okay with that. And my goal is to learn more and more and more about myself and about the relationship that I'm in and things like that, whether it's friends, family, or significant other. Like, those are important to me. And so practicing infinite patience is by understanding that, I might not be where I'm at today, but I will be. Okay? So now, when a woman pulls away, and you should be indifferent about it, it's not about being cold, it's about giving her space. And, some guys might ask the question like, oh, what if she doesn't come back? Well, then she probably really wasn't that into you. And don't take that too personal. You know that you're a catch. And maybe you don't feel like one right now, but, continue to work on yourself. And one of the quickest ways to get someone to notice you is, look, work on yourself physically. Work on yourself physically. I'm turning 36 in about 4 days. I'm a little bit on the heavier side from what I used to be. But I mean, for being 36, I don't think I'm doing bad. I think I'm doing all right. Now, am I stage prep ready? Absolutely not. Right? But I don't think I'm in a bad place. And so if you see yourself and you look at yourself in the mirror and you don't really like what you see, and it's not about hating yourself, it's about how to love yourself, well, maybe don't eat like shit. Don't eat junk food, right? Eat things that are nutrient dense. It's really not that hard. Now, I'm not a nutritionist, so I can't really tell you what to eat, but there's certain things that you should kind of follow that will help facilitate you becoming a better person. And then as you're becoming a better person, well, educate yourself, learn, read. You know what's very attractive? And And you know, attraction is not a choice. And I just saw this, and I was like, I was at the gym, and I saw one person. I was like, that's a good trait to have. This person was at a gym, worked out really hard, then decided to go on a treadmill. But while on a treadmill, started reading a book and started reading a book on a treadmill just because they needed to, you know, walk, and you know, it's healthy. It's good for your heart. Started reading, and I was like, yeah, that's nice. This is someone that really takes care of themselves. And to fall back and to listen to what Jim Rohn said, and I would definitely, if you have not heard of Jim Rohn, go follow him. Okay, Jim Rohn. Rohn. He says that I'll take care of me for you, and you take care of you for me. So the idea of that is to not, it's not that whole Hollywood bullshit, right? It's really about getting into the relationship to share each other's completeness. You're sharing each other's completeness. You might not be 100%, but you're working towards there. That's the beauty. I'm a Gemini, yes. So that's the beauty of that. Hollywood, on the other hand, likes to talk about, oh my God, you complete me. You complete me sounds like you're codependent. And that's not how relationship flourishes. So codependency, you know, you can look into that if you want. You know, it's a whole other mess of problems. I'm trying to give you guys an extraordinary life, and this is why I do this every single week, so that most of you guys will come in here and, you know, could absorb this and understand this. So now, let's see. Okay, she probably wasn't that into you to begin with, and so now, you're not gonna say this. You're not gonna say this to her, but the idea is, I dare you to find someone else better than me. I dare you to, because I know what I've worked. I know what I've done to improve myself. And I know that I'm not this jack in the box. I understand, at least from my perspective, I do understand. And I dare you to find someone better than me. I really do. I dare you to, because there's not a lot. And if you do find someone that's better than me, shit, I need to learn from this person. Like, that's my mindset, right? I was like, damn, if she could find someone better than me, shit, I could learn something from this person. I'd be like, shit, now that you got my ex, you know something that I don't. So you mind hooking a brother up? Like, you know what I'm saying? So so that's the mindset, right? And it's not to be bitter about it and upset about it, but yeah. So now when your woman is saying she needs space, chances are you're smothering her. So the idea is to be like, damn, like, she needs space. Oh wow, this is where I get to do all the things that I wanted to do. This is where I get to, you know, I get to clean my sock drawer, right? I get to spend time with my mom. I get to go to the gym. I get to hang out with the boys, right? Things like that. Like, that's the beauty of that. It's because the whole idea is to have a life outside of just you being around her. Because a woman doesn't want you to be her world. She does not want you to be her world. Not at all. She is not your center, okay? She is not your center. So you should have a life outside of it. Outside of with her. Let's see. So that's the mindset. So the idea is to, you know, have things on your own. And most guys here now, they get a little passive aggressive, right? Oh, because you didn't get what you want, so now I'm gonna do shit about being passive aggressive. Being passive aggressive, if you think about it, it is still about you, and that's no longer giving into the relationship anymore, right? You don't get anything from being passive aggressive. And because being a passive aggressive means that it is still about you, and most people in relationships they think about what they could get out of it. You want to be in this relationship to be able to give. You can't give what you don't have. So if you're not in a good place on yourself, what makes you think you could give into a relationship? I know a guy that constantly gets into a relationship, but constantly argues, constantly breaks up, has a lot. He could say he experienced way more than me. Oh, I slept with X, Y, and Z. Great, absolutely. Hey, that's wonderful. That's wonderful for you. Oh yeah, I did all this. That's great. Yeah, you have more T-shirts than I do. That's beautiful. I I I I personally tend to look for quality people, not the amount of people, not just amount. Okay, now if I have a lot of quality people, absolutely, I'll definitely have that. But you know what? That's not my case. We live in two different mindsets, so that's okay. Um, so yeah, most people they think about what they could get out of a relationship, and how a relationship flourishes is by giving into it. Okay, so like I said, you want to practice infinite patience. So the next time your lady's all over the ice and she's hot and heavy 1 second, and the next she's kind of cold and distant, don't let that bother you. Take a step back. It's okay. But what you can do is, if you notice that she's constantly telling you certain things, like, "Hey, you don't do this," like, and she's repeating it a lot, chances are, throw a little bone sometime. Throw a little bone. You be like, you know what? I have been, kind of. You're right. You're right. I have been a little kind of not where I was. So yeah, you know what? We should do this. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Let's go do this. You're right. That's beautiful. That's beautiful. And if she's acting a little cold and distant, it's okay. Ask her, hey, what's on your mind? Like, you've been a little bit distant lately. Like, what's bothering you? What's on your mind? And just by communicating certain things, and that's the beauty of it. And there's so many things that you could do to work on yourself. There's always an area of your life, whether it's financial, your body, mentally. Like, there's so many things that you could work on, and that's the beauty of the process of life, especially if you want to continue to become better and better. It will never stop. It's a never ending. It's never gonna stop. So now that is the end of the show. So I do want to give a quick little summary, right, of the 4 slides that I did, which is number one, don't get too comfortable, right? In the beginning, she might be really into you, hot and heavy. She's in love, head over heels, right? And you slip up, you get complacent because everybody gets too comfortable sometimes. The idea is to not let that get too far, so that it doesn't seem like it's salvageable, right? You can't let her get to you, right? Her a woman's ever-changing emotions, it will always fluctuate just like the weather, right? It's about being able to handle that storm while and eventually she'll come back and the sun will shine. It will always come back. But now you're also looking for someone, like, where do you live most of your time? Where do you live emotionally? Like, are they always upset? Are they easygoing, easy to get along with? Because if they're not, get away, right? It's not worth it. Being upset and emotional is feminine energy. So now, as a guy, as a man, we're driven to solve problems. That's what we like to do. And most of the time, she doesn't want us to solve her problems. She just wants to be heard. She wants to be understood. And that's through communication. Listening is part of communication. It's not just talking. So being upset and emotional is feminine energy. So if you let that get to you too much, you're conveying to her through energy that you don't understand her. So take a step back. It's okay, right? And practice infinite patience. Also taking another step back. Don't let it bother you, right? Ask her, like I said, ask her what's bothering you, what's on your mind. You seem a little bit distant lately. So, yeah, I want to know what's bothering you and be genuinely curious about that. And so that's another book that I would recommend is, one, my coach, Coach Corey Wayne, How to Be a 3% Man, and How to Win Friends and Influence People. Like, those are the two biggest books that has gotten me to where I am at today. There's other coaches and mentors that I look up to as well, but those are the two main books. If you were just hearing me for the first time today, I would highly suggest those two books. And if you ever want to, ask me questions, I do have social media. I have a TikTok. I don't really use that often, but I use my Instagram, so you could, feel free to message me over there as well if you have any questions. Yeah, everything over here, it's free, right? Can we get a room tour, like, in the background? Everything's a mess right now. But I could do this. Hold on, let me see. I have clothes I'm ready to sell. Let's see. I love Pokemon, as you could tell, my shirt. So I have some Charizards. I have a book. I love video games, so I have some video games over there. That's my little humidifier. That's my other Charizard. That's my Roomba. That's my little table. Has Eevee in it. My cat's name's Eevee, so everything's. I have a bunch of clothes right there right now because I need to sort out my clothes. Right, when you have too much, you know, like I'm trying Marie Kondo shit. You know what gives me joy and what doesn't. I don't really need so many things in life to be happy. So, and then, hold on, let me just unplug it. Can you guys hear me still? I'm not gonna use this anymore. And then I have my little speakers on the top, right? Wait, hold on. Speakers right there. I have another speaker up there as well. So it's my little surround sound type of thing. Let me see. Can I switch this? Yeah. Some my Charizard, some books, red, Nintendo. Oh, my fridge, because I need my drinks. You know, as a guy, you gotta smell good, right? Suicune's my other second favorite Pokemon, and this is my little shrine of Pokemon. So this is how you know late 80s to early 90s babies, right? And there it is. And oh yeah, that's my Roomba. Do you like gaming? I do. I used to be a gamer. Well, I wouldn't call myself a gamer. I played Super Smash Brothers professionally at one point, semi-professionally, and yeah. Shameless plug. Me and my my teammate, we did something called Wombo Combo. So if you look that up, it should be the first video. I don't know how many views it has now. It has a lot. It has a lot. Can you show us your gaming setup? Right now it's a mess. It's a mess, but I can show you. Everything's a mess because I'm like organizing. So that's my streaming PC. That's my Elgato Light. That's my other camera that I use. That's my headphones. That's my iPad. So everything that you were hearing from, it came up from that so that I could, you know, use that. Printer, my chair, and yeah, like, yeah. But once it's all set up, it's very, very nice. I have some Pokemon cards that I'm about to be opening. So that's about 40 booster packs. I spent too much money on Pokemon cards, okay? My receiver, so that, you know, when the homies come by sometimes, I don't really have people over a lot, but when they do, they get to have a good time because I love to entertain. You know, if I have a choice to entertain, I would. And yeah, I got a fake. Ooh, hold on, one more thing. I got a fake plant. This is Eevee. I don't know if you can see it. It's like, see that? And then, you know, what people come over, I'll be like, yeah, what you want to drink? I got water upstairs, but, you know, if you want a Coke, got some Cokes. And yeah. You know, I try to keep it as tidy as possible, but right now it's been a mess. And I wonder what my cat's doing. All right, let's see. Eevee. What's up, baby? What's up, baby? Were you mad at me or something? Huh? Because I didn't play with you? Huh? What's up, Eevee? Ooh. Oh, okay. All right. She's stretching. Yeah, so I'm actually thinking about building a cat wall. So I'm gonna put cat walls right there. So she's gonna climb. She's gonna jump over there, climb, go to this wall, and then it's gonna end here. I'm also thinking about putting a little TV. There's nothing, so it looks blank, right? I'm thinking about putting like a TV up here too, something, so that. Did she go out? Yes, she did. All right. Yeah. So this is my room. So I go in here to sleep. Right. And that's it. Yeah, this is a little quick tour. Oh shit. Yeah, she ran out. Well, yeah, it's a nice little cool setup. I have a bunch of things that I need to sell. So right now I'm just like posting things up. I know this is the end of the show. I should have ended it. Just like selling things that I no longer need. Less is more, actually, if you think about it. It's nice little sweet. Like when people come over, I'm like, yeah, it's all about having a good time. I used to have a snack drawer, so when people come over, I'm like, yeah, what do you want to eat? Bunch of snacks, sweets, salty, savory stuff, whatever, right? But then we had a little infestation, and it kind of ruined it. So I was like, well, until I figure that out, I'm not gonna buy any more snacks. But yeah, there's always like my personal thing right now is I want to have less things. I want to have less things. That's it. So, anyways, thank you guys for listening to me this whole time. Today's topic was feminine energy is chaotic. If you guys are more interested, I will have. I need to do some more like longer, not longer, but like short form content, maybe 5-10 minutes, just talking about certain things, because I know that's kind of what people are looking for. But the reality is we got to work on ourselves, and when we work on ourselves, it takes a lot of time. So, you know, and the greatest compliment that anybody could give me is to share my work, right? Let other people know, let them come through. If you think that they need the help, tell them to come through, right? I'm not here to save you, but what I am here is to give you the right guidance so that you can have a extraordinary life. Not for people that wants mediocre life. Like that's not what I'm here for. So if you want a mediocre life, I'm not the guy for you, all right? Anyways, I hope you guys enjoy your Saturday, enjoy your weekend, and I catch you guys on the next live, all right? Peace.